Japan, a land where ancient traditions beautifully coexist with cutting-edge technology. A country known for its stunning landscapes, rich culture, and exquisite food. But beneath the surface of its beauty lies a world of unspoken rules. Rules that, if you're not aware of, could make your visit uncomfortable or even disrespectful. So, before you pack your bags and head to the land of the rising sun, make sure you know these 10 unspoken rules that will help you navigate Japan with grace and respect. Ready to dive deep into Japan's intriguing social fabric? Let's get started. First up, let's talk about silence. Japan is a country where silence is not just golden. It's expected in certain public spaces, especially on public transport. Imagine the soft hum of a train carriage as everyone around you is lost in their own thoughts, not a single voice raising above a whisper. Sounds peaceful, right? Now, here's the thing. If you're on a train, bus, or even in a cafe, keeping your voice down is crucial. Loud conversations, phone calls, and even loud laughter can be considered rude. If you're talking, do it quietly. And if you're on the phone, try to step outside or use a quiet space. This level of silence is not just about respect for others. It's about maintaining a sense of harmony, which is deeply rooted in Japanese culture. Ever experienced a quiet train ride in a busy city? Imagine how calm you'd feel. Let's see how this rule blends with another aspect of public spaces in Japan. When you enter a traditional Japanese home, temple, or even some restaurants, you'll see something that might surprise you. Shoes off at the door. This is one of Japan's most important cultural norms. Why? Well, Japanese homes and traditional spaces are designed to keep the indoors clean. Shoes track dirt, and the custom of removing them helps keep everything pristine. Not only is it a gesture of respect for the space you're entering, but it also reflects Japan's strong sense of hygiene and cleanliness. So, when you visit Japan, be prepared to remove your shoes, and don't forget to wear clean socks. What happens if you forget this rule? Well, don't worry, let's dive into that next. Here's one rule that could catch many travelers off guard: no tipping in Japan. In many countries, leaving a tip is seen as a sign of appreciation for good service. But in Japan, it's actually considered disrespectful. Why? Because the Japanese view good service as part of their professional responsibility, and tipping implies that the service they provided wasn't part of their duty. So, when you visit Japan, forget about the tip jar. Just say thank you and move on. That's enough to show your appreciation. What other cultural practices might surprise you in Japan? Let's explore another one. In Japan, waiting in line is an art form. Whether it's at a train station or a convenience store, queuing is a deeply ingrained part of their daily life. Here's what you need to know. You must stand in line, no cutting in front of others. It's a social contract of fairness and respect. And the Japanese take it seriously, so much so that you'll often see designated lines for trains, buses, and even elevators. It might seem simple, but it's an essential part of ensuring that everyone gets their turn in an orderly, respectful manner. Have you ever waited in a perfectly organized line? In Japan, this is just the beginning of their organized culture. Next, let's talk about personal space and manners. In Japan, it's important to be polite and respectful when interacting with others, especially when it comes to personal space. Pointing, staring, or drawing attention to someone else can be seen as rude. Instead, keep your interactions soft and avoid making others uncomfortable. Respect for personal boundaries is a big part of the culture, and a polite nod or a slight bow can go a long way. Why do you think personal space is so important? Let's dive into another unspoken rule that goes hand in hand with this. In Japan, public displays of affection, like kissing or hugging in public, are considered inappropriate. Holding hands is fine, but anything beyond that, well, that's better reserved for private spaces. This cultural norm is rooted in a sense of modesty and respect for others' personal space. It's not about being cold or unfriendly. It's about keeping public spaces comfortable for everyone, no matter their age or background. If you're traveling to Japan for business or even social events, punctuality is key. Being late is seen as a sign of disrespect and can make you look careless. So, whether you're catching a train, meeting a friend, or attending a formal event, make sure you arrive on time. In Japan, punctuality is deeply tied to their values of discipline and respect. Here's an interesting one. When eating with chopsticks, never stick them upright into a bowl of rice. It's a gesture associated with funerals and death, as incense sticks are placed this way at altars. Instead, always place your chopsticks horizontally across your bowl or on a chopstick rest to avoid any misunderstandings. In Japan, waste management is an art of its own. Not only do you have to separate recyclables and trash, but you also won't find public trash bins everywhere. So, when you finish your food, make sure you carry your trash with you until you find an appropriate place to dispose of it. This reflects Japan's commitment to cleanliness and environmental responsibility. And finally, when visiting temples, shrines, and natural landmarks, remember to act with reverence. These places are sacred and play an important role in Japanese spirituality. Always show respect, whether it's by bowing before entering a temple, keeping noise levels low, or simply appreciating the tranquility of nature. Now that you know the 10 unspoken rules of Japan, what do you think? Ready to visit this beautiful country with a deeper understanding and respect for its traditions? Japan is a country that values respect, harmony, and tradition. And once you understand these unspoken rules, your experience will be so much richer